Like, if I can't get up and leave when I want, my anxiety start rushing to the room. So now, oh yes, ma'am, I made a mistake.
No, and then I don't understand the using the racial slurs.
Yeah, I was mad.
Last week on her stomach, so she can't walk as fast as she thought she could. So she said as well.
How old are you?
18.
Why are you depending on your mom? If their mom were ill from surgery, as you say, and thought she could walk faster than she could, as you say, you would have taken the VIA bus.
For the offense of attempting to take a weapon from an officer, I'm going to cut off my monitor because my child ran away and my child will only listen to me. If your child will only listen to you, why are your children living with the grandmother instead of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault public servant bodily injury? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're asking the court to proceed with the recommendations of the ADA. Ms. Hullaby lives independently. Up until this arrest, she was employed with the city of San Antonio. Unfortunately, because of the arrest, she was terminated. She is currently seeking employment. She does have a supportive family. Her mom is present in the courtroom. Her mom has been present at every court appearance. She is remorseful. She just made a terrible, terrible mistake. She acknowledges her mistake. She is willing to comply with all the conditions that you impose upon her. She's asking the court to give her an opportunity. She will follow all of the court's directives.
Right. So who is Mr. Napoleon to you?
Napoleon, it's our old classmates.
All right. So why was he in the car with you?
We was going to HEB for grape juice.
All right. So what's your relationship?
With him?
Yes.
Oh, this is our old classmate. My friend already had that.
What do you mean your friend already had that?
Like, that was her man. And I was just with him to wash the laundry in the back of the car.
So you're with him to watch laundry in the back of the car, but you all are doing groceries. I don't understand your
Oh,
story.
we was on the way to HEB, but before we got to the apartment, I just wanted grape juice. So that's how we went to HEB. That's
Okay. So the officers are saying they could smell marijuana. Why are you around people who have marijuana?
yeah. I don't have no answer to that one at this moment. Looking back on it now, maybe I should have been like, don't get in the car with it. But it just happened.
No, I mean, stuff don't just happen unless somebody is forcing you to do it. So police pull you all over, and then you are kicking the plexiglass in the back of the car. What were you hoping to gain by doing that?
Then my anxiety, like in my head, I thought I was getting kidnapped. So I was like, let me get out this situation.
What do you mean you thought you were being kidnapped? They're police.
I know, but also I can't, like, yes, they are trusted by the law, but I personally don't know the man. So that's why I was like, okay, it's just when I get put in the like, if I can't get up and leave when I want, my anxiety start rushing to the room. So now, oh yes, ma'am, I made a mistake.
No, you made bad choices.
Oh yes, ma'am, I made a horrible choice.
So here's the thing. I don't know about your anxiety. I don't know what's going on with that, but I do know if the police are doing an investigation and they put you in the back of a vehicle, you're not supposed to kick a plexiglass because then you're going to end up back here. And I know you're not supposed to hit an officer because then you're going to end up back here.
It's-
And then I don't understand the using the racial slurs.
Yeah, I was mad, but that was very disrespectful because I wouldn't want nobody to call me XYZ, so I should not have said XYZ, you know?
All right. So you say you have bad anxiety or high anxiety. So are you receiving treatment for that?
No, I have no insurance with the city. I would love to get treated to see, because I feel it now, like my legs get weak. It's like, it's not a bad anxiety. I see real anxiety attacks. I don't think I get anxiety attack. I think it's something else because my heart be coming out my chest.
Okay. All right. If I could speak to her mother for a moment, because I'm trying to figure out what's going here, what would be the best conditions of probation for her. So if you'll step to the side a little bit. I'm doing okay. I like your shirt. That's the Scooby in, but with
Yeah.
bugs and everybody.
Mhm.
We will watch that show all the time. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, if you can lower your hand and make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear.
Okay.
All right, and could you state your name?
I'm Bernice Elizabeth Hullaby.
All right, Bernice Hullaby.
Bernice Elizabeth Hullaby, mother to Kishana by Renee Hullaby.
All right, so I'm going to follow the agreement. But when people are placed on probation in this court, I want them to be successful. So I don't do cookie cutter probations where everybody get the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out, what do you think she needs? She's saying she has high anxiety. Has she ever had any mental health treatment, or do you think she needs to see someone?
I believe Kishana does have anger issues. I believe her anger issues has started since she's moved out of the house. I believe that as any child that has moved out or wants to get out on their own, they make their own decisions, they make their own friends. I believe Kishana had got mixed up in a crowd that she shouldn't have been mixed up in. And as every parent, when children come home for Sunday, so we have Sunday dinner every Sunday.
Mhm.
I had noticed some changes, and I said, "Is everything okay?" I'm a very active mother. I try to make sure I keep in touch with my children, know what's going on with my children. I knew something just wasn't right. I had spoken to Kishana the morning of the incident. Well, let me go back. That Sunday, she had came for Sunday dinner, and I was looking at her car. She has paper plates, and my husband told her father, said, "By Renee, those plates are no more good. You need to go to car people and get the plates replaced." She said, "Oh, she said, I'll call them." And so I think I called her on Monday. No, I did call her on Monday. And I said, "Did you go get your plates?" Because I was concerned about those paper plates. She said, "Well, Mom, I'm on my way." I said, "Okay." I think an hour later, I get a call from my husband telling me she had been arrested. I didn't know the full of the story, but when we did get her out, I did get her out that day. She told me, she said, I acted rationally. She said, "Mom, I panicked. I kicked the officer." She said, "I said some things I had no business saying, and I just shook my head." So I would recommend with support, and not to hurt her, but yes, I do think that she doesn't have patience.
Hmm.
And I don't know where's that coming from, where that behavior is coming from. But overall, Kishana is not a bad child. She's a very good child. She's been raised in a very good home. I felt like we raised her to the best of our abilities. I've been on my job for 20 years. We've been hardworking people. Kishana in our middle school and high school was involved in sports. She played volleyball. She played tennis. She's very successful at whatever she does when she puts her mind into it. I think she just got into the world, and the world just influenced her to do bad things.
All
If
right,
I'm
so,
saying that correctly.
all right, so does she live with you or she lives by herself?
Kishana does live independently. Kishana did have to move back home, and at this time, I think what really set it off, Kishana was living in an apartment. She got evicted because.
So is she back at home with you?
No, right now she's on her own, but
Okay.
during the time of this incident, she was going to get evicted. She couldn't pay her bills, so she did have to move home. I believe that kind of set off her little anger issue because she was upset at that because she had to come home. And I did explain to her, so it happens to every child. I said, so you shouldn't be upset that you have to come home, because sometimes you just have to come home, get yourself together and, get back up on your feet. She was able to come home and live for, up to December. January, yeah,
Yeah,
January.
Okay.
She came back and she was pretty much okay. And she's in an apartment now. She's doing well. I was sad that, about she lost her job with the city because they did the background check.
Okay. All
And
right. All
but
right.
otherwise, now she's not racist. I didn't raise her to be racist.
Okay.
I don't know where that slur came from, but we did have a talk about that.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know and giving me some insight. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, you can come back. And I want to let you know, your mother's testimony did not hurt you whatsoever. What she's told me is exactly what is in the police report. All right, is there anything else before the court makes its ruling?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. We'll sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. Anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court and we'll see what's going on. Yes,
Judge, there's just one other matter.
yes.
If we can have her drug tested so that we can get a baseline.
Is she gonna be positive?
Yes.
All right, so what are you using?
Oh, this week.
Don't do like, oh, just weed, because you're not supposed to be using drugs at all.
Yes.
It messes with the brain. And I know some people think weed, oh, it's fine, but then usually ends up leading to other things. All right, probation, can we have her do a UA today? Is that possible? All right, so we'll do a UA today. And it's to attain a baseline. And please make sure they test her, and if her levels go up, bring her back to court. Oh, and go ahead and do a TAP evaluation, and that can be done out of custody as well. And if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment. Anything else?
Nothing further.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention. All right, they'll go over conditions with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, what conditions is he on?
He's currently on GPS partial house arrest for work with a curfew judge. The motion to travel would be from May 6th through May 30th to allow him to go to his twin brother's high school graduation here in San Antonio. His curfew, I believe, is for 6:30, but is that right? 7. The curfew is for 7, but the graduation starts at 7. That would be at the Alamo Dome, and he's just requesting that evening he'd be allowed to go to the graduation and then out to eat afterwards.
Okay,
And then from
what date is that?
that is May 26th.
May 26th. So what time is he asking for?
To come back,
No, I mean, from beginning to end.
the 11, maybe 10:30.
What, 10:38? No, I mean, when he's leaving the house, what time is he leaving?
Oh, I would
Oh,
assume 5:30 or something like that.
5:36.
Okay, 5:30 PM to when?
Possibly 10:30, maybe 11 because of dinner.
Yeah,
Okay, where are you all having dinner at?
I don't think they know yet, Judge. That's to be determined. I just don't know
All right,
how
so
long.
here's the thing. I'm inclined to grant that, but
Okay.
I need some specifics because I just can't have him out
Okay,
till 11 at night with GPS.
how about, because I don't know how long the graduation will take.
Well, no,
probably-
I mean, just find out from the family if you could, where is dinner gonna be?
Okay,
And let the family know they can't go to a place and then it's an hour wait, oh, we're going somewhere else. Because it's gonna show up that you're in a location that you shouldn't be. So, Mr. Navy, if you can give me that information
okay.
and, I will
I can
grant
prob-
that.
I could probably get that for you right now and just come right back up.
Okay, you can come back up, but before you leave, the next thing is,
The next thing is, and this would be the trip itself would be to Maybank, Texas for his cousin's high school graduation and to celebrate him and his twin brother's birthday that weekend with family.
is this his first cousin?
Yes, first cousin, correct?
Yes, it's fair.
Okay. And then on the way back,
Does
from-
his first cousin want him there? Because his twin brother wanted him at his graduation. Sometimes people don't want to say, they depend on me to tell them
yeah,
to deny it.
I haven't heard anything that anybody doesn't want him there.
So
I'll
they
put
can
it that way.
say, we really wanted
Yeah.
you, but that judge
Yeah.
wouldn't let you. So, okay.
And then on the way back, would request to visit his grandfather in Athens, Texas, who is not doing too well physically. And he hasn't seen the grandchildren in about 3 years. So just on the way back, since they are in that area, to visit him on the way back to San Antonio. And then on May 30th, he would arrive back in San Antonio before its curfew.
All right. And you were raising your hand?
Grandfather's house is like in between on the way back, so it would just be like a stop and go.
Okay. Who's driving?
His mother.
All right. So if you would give me the motion with the dates and the times. And if there's going to be some stops along the way for this Ma Bank or May Bank, how do you pronounce that?
Maybe.
There's no Y there.
There's a
I
lot.
guess it's I guess the A is a long A.
There's a lot of cities in Texas that have weird pronunciations.
And where is Maybank, Texas?
Over by Athens, Texas, I would assume.
Where is Athens, Texas?
Is it by Dallas?
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Brenda, am I going to call you as a witness? Where is Athens, Texas?
I think it's close to Dallas area, but it's close to Dallas.
All right, so Norma, it seems you're up in your geography. So where's Maybank? Maybank, Texas.
That's why she got lost.
All right, so I need the times for the Maybank. Dave, do you have any objection to him going to his first cousin's graduation? He's not driving.
No, Judge.
All right. And do you have any objections to him stopping off to visit his grandfather?
No.
All right. So here's the thing. You're on GPS, right?
This one.
And now you want to see your grandfather. You should have saw him when you were not on GPS. And I say that because people always want to do extra things when they're on GPS. So when you go see your grandfather, make sure you listen to his stories, because grandfathers and grandmothers, they usually have some good wisdom to impart if young children and young people would only sit down and listen. You understand? And listen actively. So when you see your grandfather, don't be pulling out your cell phone and texting other people and playing games. Spend it actively with your grandfather.
Treat it like this.
Yes, exactly like this.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Judge.
so if you'll give me that information, and then
Okay.
I will take care of it today.
Okay, thank you. Do you
Alright.
want me to get you an order?
All right, Mr. Sale, why were you late?
We had to find parking, and my mom had surgery last week on her stomach, so she can't walk as fast as she thought she could, so she said. So we were kind of late, and there was traffic as well. And
How
we
old
had
are you?
18.
Why are you depending on your mom? And see, here's the thing. A loving child, if their mom were ill from surgery, as you say, and thought she could walk faster than she could, as you say, you would have taken the VIA bus and you would have told your mom, Mom, I don't need you to come in today because I know you've had surgery and I know you're ill. Instead of putting her, on her docket to come down to court, because she's not charged with anything. It's the state of Texas versus Cameron Sale. Do you understand? So don't ever come forward in this court and blame your parent who's had surgery for not walking as fast as she thought she could. You understand? All right. So what's happening with this case?
Judge, at the last setting, I believe it was the last setting that I filed a motion to set aside the indictment, but the state agreed that it was a faulty indictment, so they re-indicted the case. I just received a copy of the new indictment. I believe it was either last Thursday or last Friday. A physical copy this morning.
All right,
And-
is that the 2022-5615?
Yes, Judge. That.
All right, so the other cases, State, are you dismissing the other two cases then, since it's been re-indicted under 2022 CR 5615?
And Judge, I was actually conferring with Ms. Paulison. I don't know if she just stepped out.
Judge, we'll be dismissing one of them. I don't think they were combined.
All right. Were both cases to be re-indicted? Because I have on the docketing sheet that 0703 state to re-indict. And then on 0704, I have state to
If you could
re-indict.
just give me,
So, Mr. Sale, your plea deadline date and jury trial date is September 6th. So on that date, you let the court know if you want to accept the state's offer or not. And if you choose not to accept the state's offer, then we'll head into a jury trial. Now, of course, you never know if your case is going to go on that date because we'll have other cases set on that date as well. You understand? And here's my advice to you. Don't ever have your mother coming down to court when she's been in the hospital and you know COVID is running rapid. She should be at home because I'm sure when she had that surgery, I'm sure the doctor told her, don't be up running around, don't go anywhere, just relax, bed rest. You understand? So are you able to cook?
Sort of, kind of.
All right, so you should be able to make your mom some soup, put it in a microwave or something. And they have canned soup at the store and you need to ask her what she has a taste for. And then once you find out what she has a taste for, you need to make it. That's the least you can do. You understand? And the other thing, when you walk out of this courtroom with her today, you tiptoe. Don't be walking fast and don't be getting on her about like, if you're gonna walk faster, I would have been on time, because that's all on you. You understand? Treat your mom with respect and show that you love her through action. All right? All right, they're gonna give you a reset form. And Mr. Navy, be sure to reiterate that to him about his mom. You only get one mom on this planet.
I will just,
You're charged with aggravated assault against a public servant in count 1. That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 1. There's a $1,000 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
yes, Your Honor. And just my understanding is that if he was to get deferred adjudication, the deadly weapon finding would be deferred as well. In order to receive the deferred adjudication.
I mean, there's still going to be a finding, an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon, but he'll get the deferred adjudication if I follow the plea.
Okay.
All right. All right, state, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand that to be the plea? All right, and states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt if you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're fine proceeding with sentencing, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I'd just like to offer defendants exhibits 1 through 6, and I've showed them to the state.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor. And Judge, what those are, number 1 is an apology letter to the police officers. Exhibits 2 through 5 are various psychiatric, psychological, and counseling records indicating some of his various mental health issues that he's been dealing with in his young adult life. He's been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, opposition and defiance disorder. He hasn't been diagnosed with autism, but it hasn't been ruled out. And some of the psychiatrists believe that he needs further testing to see if that's something that he is dealing with, Judge. He's a young man, I believe you're 19, 18. He's had no violations on his pretrial monitor, Judge. He's never been arrested before. He finished his high school diploma. That's defendant's exhibit 6 that you have. And we would ask that you follow the plea bargain agreement.
All right, so what are you working? What are you doing with your life right now?
At the moment, I kind of made it hard on myself with this. I kind of told myself, hey, since you got this, it's kind of hard to get a job. So while being on this, I really haven't put too much time in trying to do that because I've been so stressed and like talking myself down, I guess.
You need to get a job.
Yes. So I actually have a buddy who just got offered a job recently, and he's going to see if they can get me up in there as well.
Doing what?
Just working at a gas station, man.
Okay. All right. I don't understand the request for defensive driving.
Because of the facts of this, Judge.
And
But I'm sort of like, if somebody's,
I think this may resolve the issue, Judge. He did complete a defensive driving course recently. And so I would ask that he just get credit for that if he shows probation, the certificate.
all right,
That.
10 years deferred adjudication, defensive driving. There's a $1,000 fine that will be probated. Do you have any children? Right. Anger management. No, I mean, I'm assigning anger
Oh, okay,
management
okay, you're
courses.
asking questions, sorry, Judge.
And that's based upon the exhibits that's been presented to the court. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. The remaining hours will be waived if you enroll in some higher level of education. If it's college, I will tell you, are required to be full-time. So if you plan on enrolling to college, the court will not waive the remaining of the community service hours unless you are taking at least 9 hours per semester, or if you are in a trade school and obtain a certificate. There's to be regular reporting, regular UAs. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? What are you going to be positive for? And what else? All right. Marijuana is not allowed. You understand? We're going to do you're either going to have a job while you live with your mom, or either you're going to be in school. I don't allow people who are adults to live at home unless they're working, or either they're in school at your age. You understand? All right, probation, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, I forgot. Are you the same Deja Rosette
Yes.
Garcia, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 2514 for the offense of attempting to take a weapon from an officer on May 26, 2022 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Violation of condition number 41 on or about the 17th day of April 2025 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Deja Rosette Garcia did then and there fail to comply with the rules and regulations of the felony drug court by tampering with drug patch in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true. Violation of condition number 41.
Okay.
And proceed on violation of condition number 2 on or about the 31st day of March 2025 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Deja Rosette Garcia did then and there admit to consuming alcoholic beverages in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. And then we waive and abandon the remainders, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Yes, Judge, we are asking the court to consider the recommendation of the probation officer. We did confer with probation, and their recommendation, as far as I understand it, is to reinstate her with the DDRF. It seems, as far as I understand, Judge, after talking to my client and reading the report, is that she did well on DDRF. She did not do well on safety, is what I understand. So I've had communications with her. I have an understanding, a little better understanding of DDRF and the difference. And she does feel that she benefited more with the dual. That includes the mental health
But
component.
didn't felony drug court have her on the dual track?
They moved her. That's a good question, Judge. I believe they moved her from the DDRF to straight safe P is what I understand. And that's where she
Didn't want to go to safety.
went astray. I believe.
So you didn't want to go to safety?
I just signed on it, because just wasn't in the right state.
You want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Deja Garcia.
So felony drug court, didn't they have you in their dual diagnosis program?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so where are you saying you went off track?
Right, a few months after I got out of DDRF, I got off track again, and that's when they decided to have me sign the safety.
Okay.
Because it was about after 4 or 5 months.
Did you go to safety?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you successfully complete it?
Yes.
All right, so then you get out of safety, then what happens?
I slipped up and I drank like on 2 of the violations.
So why did you drink?
Um, I think just because I was kind of overwhelmed when I got out of that facility. So I'm not trying to make it an excuse, but I was just overwhelmed.
All right, so to the court, and if I'm wrong, let me know. There seems that there's more than just this being overwhelmed, because I used to be an attorney in felony drug court. And when you're released from safety or some kind of inpatient treatment, they don't just let you fly free because they know you're going from a lockdown facility to coming out. So they really keep track of you until you're on the right path. Then they let you be freer with your time. So I'm not understanding. So you leave safety and you start drinking.
Yeah, ma'am. A few weeks after I get out, I drank like once or twice.
Mhm.
I just had a lot of
Can I say something, Judge?
Sure.
Okay, so I spent a little time with her and I don't know if maybe she's not remembering or the communications we had, we went over the excuses and how just give them the facts and tell them what happened. What I see in this is, I asked her, how did it happen? What happened? What was your plan? What was the goal? How did it work after you got off? You got out just like you just went through with her. What she hasn't said was that she tried to enroll in school. She moved back home, I believe, correct, with your parents. And so that's where we stopped. I think it was a few months ago.
Well, here's the thing. When you move back in with your parents, the felony drug court approved you moving back in with your parents?
no, ma'am.
All right. See, that's part of the problem because felony drug court has rules where you can stay, what you can be doing. When she got out of inpatient treatment at Safety has an aftercare program, which is what she's supposed to be in, and felony drug court would still keep track of her. So this thing right now, what she's doing, she's not being 100% honest with me. It sounds as though she didn't want to do safety, but they made her do safety. Then she's released from safety and she's in aftercare and she don't want to do that. So she starts doing her own thing. Felony drug court has a dual diagnosis program. And if she had mental health issues that were happening, they would address those. But if it's somebody who wants to do whatever they want to do, drug court is just not going to let you do whatever you want to do.
Correct, and that's why we are asking the court to consider what the probation office has recommended, which was to put her back in the DDR program, Judge. Because I agree, I think she did better in that treatment program versus what we're talking about here on the safety and handing it over to her. She wants that. She wants that reinforcement of the
But she
mental
was
health
doing
component.
But here's the thing, DDRF is in inpatient treatment.
She understands that.
I don't think she's a good candidate for probation. I don't think she's a good candidate. Felony drug court is a very good program.
Yes.
If you follow the rules, but sometimes people don't want to follow the rules. I don't think she's a good candidate for probation.
I believe this was only as far as I know, Judge, from what I can speak to is the report, this was the only violation that we have on her, and it was right after safety.
But see, here's the thing about that. Felony drug court, when people come back to this court from felony drug court, yeah, that's the only violation they have because felony drug court is sending them back. But when you're in felony drug court, they don't automatically kick people out of the program. They go through different steps, graduated sanctions. So they have technically, probably in felony drug court, she could have probably had 10 motions to revoke by now, but they don't do that. And I'm sure there's a reason why they did not approve her living with her parents. And part of that reason is because of the drinking. And they knew that they had probably already tried that before with her living at home and they told her no, but she wanted to do what she wanted to do. So now we're here and I don't think she's a good candidate for probation.
I just feel, Judge, that the element of putting her straight into the state jail felony detention center, it just squashes the whole program of rehabilitation. I think she agrees. If it's going to mean more time, Judge, I think that the benefit would be there for her to do the mental health component. She clearly knows that she needs that help, as far as I know, and she's being fully, as far as I know,
Yeah.
you know. just
But
put her-
felony drug court was giving her that. She didn't want it. She wanted to do her own thing, and I don't think she's a good candidate.
Okay, I understand.
All right, the court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty, revoke. Now, the next question is, state you're asking for 2 years?
Yes, Judge.
All right, and state, why are you asking for 2 years?
Judge, she was in the felony drug court program. They did do graduated sanctions with her. That included the DGRF and Safe P. And she just still could not comply with the terms of probation. So that's why we're asking for what we're asking.
What are you requesting?
Credit for time served. I believe she's already been there a little over 12 months. Doing the program, Judge, that's already 12 months that she's been in custody, I believe.
All right, the court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. And not give her credit for any successful inpatient treatment. If she successfully completed DDRF, then she'll receive credit for that. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you're on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you when you're released from custody. If you're still trying to find help with your mental health or maintaining your sobriety, if I'm still here, you come back here, I'll pick up the phone and call for a placement for you. All right, good luck to you. Understand you're charged with harassment of a public servant as a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
She was drawing, if I just speak to the court about the fine in her residence.
All right, well, the fine, the court will probate that. So with regards to residence, what's
Ms. Rathburn is currently living in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where she was picked up on this form and extracted back to Bear County. So we'd be asking if she'd be allowed to report to probation from Nevada, or that her probation be transferred to Nevada.
all right, what county is that?
Clark County.
Okay. Who are you living with there?
My boyfriend and I,
Who's this boyfriend?
we've been together 3 years. And Ralph, we don't-
Okay.
And
Do you
I
have
just-
any children?
I have 2 children, one 22 and one 11.
Where's the 11-year-old?
I'm not divorced yet, living with my husband in San Antonio.
Okay, so the 11-year-old is in San Antonio with your husband.
Right. But we've been legally separated for quite some time.
Okay. Yes.
And Your Honor, I did speak to Mr. Wiggum, her paramour this morning, and he did confirm the address.
All right, I always find that people on the civil side always call them paramours. Is that just something we like to say?
That's the preferred term, I think, in family court, when there's somebody who's living with a
Yes.
partner but still married.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, they use it for everything. I never see boyfriend, it's always paramour. It doesn't have a nice ring to it, I always thought. But that's just me. So, are you employed?
No, man, I live off disability.
All right, what's your disability for?
Mental illness.
All right, so are you seeing someone in Las Vegas for your mental health issues?
Yes, ma'am. I have a primary care position, but I'm on the waiting list to get to behavioral. But since I've been in jail, I've been back on my Prozac and it's helping a lot.
All right, so how's she going to get to Las Vegas?
I believe Mr. Wiggum is currently here because he was inquiring about when she would be released.
All right, where is Mr. Wiggum?
He's at his grandma's house. But
Oh, so he's not in the courtroom.
no, he's not.
Okay. Probation, what are we gonna do about this transfer? How long will that take? All right, so this is what the court is gonna do. Court is finding you guilty. Court will give you permission to travel to Las Vegas. While in Las Vegas, There's to be weekly reporting to probation by Zoom until transferred. And I'm gonna request a transfer to Las Vegas. The only reason why I'm letting you transfer there, based upon what your attorney is telling me, it appears that you're receiving treatment there and you're stabilized there. It's to be continued. Who is your caregiver out there?
I don't have.
What's your doctor? Well, what's the doctor's name?
Oh, DB Omar, it's the primary care physician. And I was getting transferred to mental health solutions.
All right,
So I
so,
can prove all that, you know, once I'm back home. I just don't have any of this stuff here.
there's to be continued treatment with the primary care physician. I want a MIC evaluation that can be done out of custody. And you're to provide probation with documentation of your, and there is a $1,500 fine probated, sentence you to 2 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. 120 hours of community service restitution, proof of SSI or employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And what is your boyfriend's name?
Raphael Wiggum.
All right, and Raphael Wiggum, probation, if she's having visitation with her 11-year-old, he cannot be listed as a chaperone for that. And 40 hours of the community service hours will be waived if she provides proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring it, but if you do, then 40 of those hours will be waived. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right. Did you sign a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Rathburn, nobody likes to be spit on. So I know you were probably having a mental health episode, but that just cannot be done, okay? All right, you need to continue to follow through with your medical appointments, all right?
Yes, ma'am. And I did get the second COVID shot while I was.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. Here in States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, we would just ask that you follow the recommendation of the prosecutor in this case.
All right, how old are you?
31,
And who is Carlos Gutierrez?
my older son,
And how old is he?
he's 17.
And are you employed?
Not at the moment.
When's the last time you had employment?
It's been like a year.
How many children do you have?
No, I'm lying. I'm sorry, ma'am. I do Uber and then I DoorDash and I have 5 kids.
All right, and what are your children's ages?
My older son is 17, which is Carlos. My daughter, she's 15. My other son, he's 13. My daughter, she's 11, and my youngest is 4.
And are you currently pregnant?
Yes, ma'am.
Who helps you with the children?
My husband.
So that's who has the children right now?
Yes.
All right, so why are you spitting on a police officer?
It was just, I was angry that day because I was looking for my son and I didn't know that he was in a stolo, which is a stolen vehicle. And I was angry. And when I crossed the street, the officer had waved me down, like, stop, like, but I was scared because my son has mental illness. And I was scared that he might make like a wrong move and then they might end up shooting him.
So how did you think spitting on an officer was gonna
Well-
alleviate the situation?
They had jumped on me first, like they both, and I was more angry because I don't know if that time I was still pregnant or if I already had a miscarriage before I got pregnant. This pregnancy. And it kind of, it was just out of like anger, I guess I did it. Cause when I was trying to tell them no, what I was trying to do, they still had just one put their like knee in my back and holding my hand, the other was just digging me more in the ground, so it made me mad. Cause I was trying to like stop my son from, but either way, he ended up getting away.
Has Child Protective Services ever been involved in your life?
Once in 2012.
And why were they involved?
Because I had came out dirty with marijuana from secondhand smoke from my daughter,
Which
Right.
daughter?
Ashley.
And how old is she?
She's 11.
So you're saying your 11-year-old was smoking marijuana?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, you're saying she was born
Yeah.
testing positive for marijuana?
Yes, ma'am. But I had did my parenting classes, and then whatever else they needed, I passed it.
All right. And are your parents involved in your life at all?
My mom kind of, but my dad, he's in a hospital in critical condition. Like he passed away, but they revived him. So right now he's still in the hospital.
All right. Is there anything else I need to know about you that I have not asked?
No, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's a $200 fine that will be probated. Anger management. $100 of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes.
This one.
When's the last time you used drugs?
Well, I had ended up relapsing when I found out about my dad. It was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. And what did you use?
I used meth.
Okay.
Meth.
You know that's not good to use meth and you're pregnant.
Yes, I know. And that was my biggest mistake. And I'm not doing that no more.
All right, I'm going to order referral to felony drug court and TAP evaluation. That's going to be in custody. You need to let felony drug court know that you have a drug problem and you need to be in their program. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if felony drug court doesn't accept her, follow all TAP recommendations. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, then she's going into inpatient treatment. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health. No. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yeah, okay. Yes,
And it would probably be in your best interest to be in felony drug court. Felony drug court is a hard program, but at least that's somebody that you can pick up the phone and call 24/7 if you're thinking about using. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you need anything else from the court?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, may
Yes.
I address something?
Yes.
How long does it usually take for drug court to interview them?
Well, because we're at the end of the week, she'll probably be interviewed next week. They're quicker than the TAP evaluation.
I told her she was going to get out today, that you would likely follow the plea bargain. Her father's on life support.
Mhm.
And I
She's,
don't
you know,
how
I'm
much-
sorry, I understand that, but you're not getting out today. I will, if there's no objection from you, counsel, I'll send an email to felony drug court to see if perhaps they can squeeze her in
That would be
sooner than
great.
next week. I'll do that.
That would be great.
Okay. All right, so I'll send that now.
Okay.
Court is calling 2023 CR 8835, State of Texas versus Esther Marie Oriana Diaz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Joseph Appelt for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:12 a.m. The defendant has not appeared in the courtroom. Deputy, was an announcement made?
Yes, Judge. She's not up there.
All right, defense, have you had any contact with your client?
I have not. The phone number that I've been provided is, the reporting I get says it has either been changed or is no longer a working number.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state asks for a bond forfeiture.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you very much, Judge. Yes, Your Honor. In other words, the agreement would be to continue her on her deferred alternate amendment conditions for some form of substance abuse treatment. But as Mr. Edelman has indicated, we don't agree on what type of treatment that should be and exactly where. We would leave that to the court, and I would like to address the court with respect to that, Your Honor.
All right, so let's address the tampering with the electronic monitoring device, and then we can address if the court is going to continue Ms. Diaz or not.
Yes, Your Honor. At the time that occurred, at the time that Ms. Diaz had the device on, she was in a, shall we say, very negative relationship with a gentleman who was the father of her now 2-month-old baby. CPS subsequently had gotten involved dealing with that situation, as well as her other 5 children. One of her children had been involved in drugs, and it has to do with, I'll give you his name, it's Domingo Herrera, who was a negative influence on the other children as well as Ms. Diaz. She has since gotten away from him. She cut the monitor off because she was dealing with the rather exigent circumstances with her oldest child, who is 16 years old. That child is now in the juvenile system because of some of her drug issues and other issues that were going on. That situation is being resolved. There is a CPS case which is open with Ms. Diaz, which she was following and being involved in with their services prior to coming to court, being in custody now for this the violation that she's pled true to. Some of the services they were recommending had to deal with relationship counseling, dealing with anger management counseling, as well as substance abuse counseling. With respect to that, she does have 6 children. The 16-year-old, actually, she's not the oldest. The 17-year-old is with her mother, which is the child's grandmother. The 16-year-old is in the juvenile system, being taken care of that way. 3 of the children are with her ex-husband, and then the young 2-month-old child is in foster care right now. Her hope is to try to reunite with the 2-month-old and the other children. It's my understanding, as reported by Ms. Diaz, that CPS, that case is rolling forward, and there's some sort of a proceeding in October of this year that she's trying to meet all the requirements for their purposes. While she has been in custody, which is 110 days, Your Honor, she has completed an anger management class. She has 2 more classes to go to complete her healthy relationships class. And she's been in substance abuse counseling as well, 2 more classes, and she'll get a certificate of completion for that class too. She informs me that Mr. Herrera, she doesn't know where he is, no contact with him, doesn't want anything to do with him. It's her information through CPS that he initially began, but he has not cooperated with CPS. He hasn't done anything. And so their process, quite possibly, I haven't seen the pleadings, but knowing how they work, they may be trying to terminate his parental rights as a part of the CPS program. We're not quite sure. However, from her perspective, she doesn't want anything to do with the man at all because of the problems that he has caused her and her children.
All right, state, you're requesting what type of treatment?
Safety, Your Honor.
All right. So I have a few questions. You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Esther Marie Oriana Diaz.
All right, and defense, if ever you want to jump in, feel free to jump in. All right, so what are the ages of your children?
17, 16, 14, 12, 5, and 2 months.
All right, so the 2-month-old is in foster care?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And the 5-year-old is with your ex?
Yes.
And that is not Mr. Herrera?
No,
And the 12-year-old is,
my ex-husband as
14?
well.
And the 16-year-old?
She's in juvie.
And the 17-year-old with the grandmother?
Yes.
All right, so the 16-year-old, why is the 16-year-old in juvenile custody?
She kept running, my mom was having problems with her,
Okay, so
so,
she was with your grandmother.
yes,
All right. Oh, I don't want to go into great detail. I'm just trying to figure things out.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
So now here's my question in defense. If you want to jump in, feel free to jump in. I don't understand how cutting off the monitor has anything to do with anything. I mean, it's not as though Mr. Herrera was monitoring her. It's not like if she's on GPS, he's monitoring her so he knows where she is. It's probation that was monitoring her.
It had to
Yes.
do with,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
it had to do with the fact that she was previously ordered to complete Alpha Home. And she couldn't do that with the monitor on. And that delves into, and it is intertwined with Mr. Herrera and the relationship that she had with him. And so she did not complete Alpha Home. She in essence left Alpha Home after 1 week.
Okay, so she was in Alpha Home on GPS
Yes, Your Honor.
and she cut the GPS monitor off.
That's, yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Sorry to cut. It wasn't necessarily that way. He misunderstood. What I meant was my daughter was giving my mom problems. It wasn't necessary because my ex-boyfriend. It was because my daughter, nobody can handle them. And they only listen when I'm there. And so I had to cut my monitor to go get my daughter.
No, you didn't have to cut your monitor off. You could have called probation and said,
I called them, my mom called them, they didn't want to do nothing. They didn't, my son's probation officer is the same probation officer for my daughter. They didn't even go look for her. Little did they know my son was even doing the other things. I had to be the one keep calling and calling, and they weren't doing their job. Secondly, my daughter was going to the Westway apartments where there's a bridge, where there's a lot of homeless people.
all right, so here's the thing. I understand what you're saying about probation not doing their job, but honestly, you were not doing your job as a parent because that's why probation is in their life. And the government, honestly, even when people are juveniles, it's really not the probation's officer job to raise your children. That's your job. And the fact that your child ran away still doesn't excuse your thinking, which is, I'm going to cut off my monitor because my child ran away and my child will only listen to me. If your child will only listen to you, why are your children living with the grandmother instead of you?
Exactly. I was just trying to take my daughter back to my mom's and let her, turn herself in, do it the right way, so I can turn myself in, so I can be at peace and know that she's okay. While I'm doing my, doing what I have to do as a parent.
Well, let me just tell everybody, one, I don't even think she should be continued on probation. I think she should be revoked. But what I can tell you is, I am not going to do the treatment that you want. It's going to be safety.
Okay, it's fine.
So, well, no, you need to listen.
Yes,
So even if I consider continuing you, it's going to be safety. So everything else is off the table. Any questions?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Any questions?
From the defense, Your Honor.
All right, probation, what are you requesting?
Judge.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. I'll deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to extend for 2 years. We can do a referral back to felony drug court. And if not accepted, then safe P.
Judge, I would like to point out that referral was just not to it as a whole.
All right.
If I'm saying the ADA opposed it, and that's why she wasn't granted, or she wasn't accepted to drug court. Otherwise, she met the requirements for it.
Who's the ADA?
It doesn't even give you that information. Judge, it does say that she met the criteria. That's all I have.
And I have counseled Ms. Diaz on how stringent and how difficult drug court is to complete. And she has informed me that she is ready, willing, and able to do whatever she needs to do.
All right, so here's my other question. Has anyone looked into the If she has a CPS case, CPS has a treatment court there as well. Has anyone checked to see if they will accept her?
I have not, Your Honor.
All right. Yes,
I have a outpatient visit with the CPS worker on the 3rd. And she was asking, well, telling me that if they didn't have classes for me here, that they would provide the classes for me there.
all right. So what's gonna end? I can tell everybody what's gonna end up happening, right? And y'all tell me if you all want to continue down this road of sending her to safety. In CPS cases, you only have a year. Counsel, as you know, to get your act together for them to consider placing your children with you. Sometimes they will extend it, maybe extend it for 3 months. Most I've seen is 6 months. And that's it. So if you're not accepted into felony drug court, it's going to be very difficult for you when you're sent to safety. So I'm going to ask that she be re-referred to felony drug court, and maybe your attorney can speak to them at felony drug court and talk to the ADA and see if they're willing to reconsider. But if you're not accepted in felony drug court, you're going to go to safety.
Yes, Your Honor.
So there's a referral to felony drug court in custody. If not accepted, then safety. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, and just one moment. Yeah, okay. All right, good luck to you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and I'm sorry, one more thing on the record probation. She'll receive credit for the anger management course.
I received my other 2 certificates in 2 weeks.
All right, sure.
It should
Just,
be in the system, they said.
all right, just let probation know.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.